So during my months of recovery, well, first of all, so the diagnosis was that my shoulder was pretty much dislocated the entire time. So because of the doctor's negligence, of the previous doctor's negligence, it continued to worsen and worsen over time. That's why God continued to tell me to push, don't give up, push, push, push. God kept me afloat. He did a lot for me during that time. He saved me, pretty much. He saved me. So once they did more imaging, he didn't see anything, but he was like, something is still going on. Even though we can't see anything, something is definitely wrong with your shoulder. I was like, okay. So we started doing physical therapy. I did physical therapy before with other doctors. That didn't work. So he was like, let's try physical therapy again. So we tried physical therapy again. Still didn't work. My arm still felt like it was out of the socket, still in significant pain. And once we finished with the physical therapy, he was like, okay, let's try surgery. And I was like, okay. So I went to high priest, asked God, do I need to get this surgery? God said yes. I was like, okay. So fast forward to, this all happened in a span of from June to December. I was able to schedule my surgery in December, but from June to October, I was still working with an injured shoulder. So that definitely made things worse. Hi, it's Prophet M, and I'm here to tell a testimony of what God has done for me over the past year. Last year in June, I had gotten injured at work, and the day that I had gotten injured, I asked high priest, hey, I hurt my shoulder, do I need to go to the doctor? God said yes. So I went to the doctor. The first doctor that I went to said, hey, I don't see anything, it just looks like you maybe pulled it or strained it. And I was like, okay. I asked God, I was like, they said I just pulled it and strained it. Is there more going on? God said yes. Continue to push. So I continued to push, went to another doctor's appointment with the job, and that doctor refused to do any more imaging and said, we didn't see anything on the last imaging, we're not going to see anything now. He completely refused to reevaluate me. I went back twice to that doctor, continued to refuse any care, said ice, and that's it. Nothing is wrong. And I'm like, my shoulder feels like it is pulled out of the socket. Like I cannot keep it up myself. There's something wrong. Even though you don't see a tear or anything, there has to be something wrong because my shoulder should not feel this way. Doctor completely ignored it, even got a little agitated with me, and I was like, okay. So I informed God. God said, find another doctor. He was like, there is something wrong. God told me that there was a tear, that the doctors are missing it, but there was a tear. And I was like, okay. So I continued to push, ended up getting another doctor. This doctor God had chose from a list that I had made. I scrolled through the list on my end and God picked it out. So he didn't see the list at all, and I just scrolled through it with my finger and he picked out which doctor I needed to go to. So once I went to that doctor, doctor came in and was like, hey, I see you're still having pain. I see that everything is still the same and getting worse. And I was like, yes, it is. I was like, okay, so we're gonna do more imaging. We're gonna see what's going on. He gave me encouraging words, High priest was able to relay those words that God wanted to give me, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful. But yeah, my shoulder was completely dislocated. They had to put 4 anchors in order to pull it back into place. So God said there was a tear. There was a tear, but it was my actual shoulder that was torn, like my shoulder torn out of the socket. And so we're back to after the surgery. I continued to go to physical therapy appointments, my doctor's appointments with the doctor that God had chosen for me. And during my physical therapy appointments, God was like, Prophet, don't think like that. I was like, the way I was thinking, I was like, oh, I'm ready to go. It hurts so bad. I don't want to do this. God was like, don't think like that. Don't think like that. I was like, okay. So God was still with me and guiding me through this entire process, through the physical therapy appointments, through the follow-up appointments, saying what I needed, what I didn't need. And while all this was going on, I did have a case. And God helped me make the decisions that I needed for that case because of how negligent the doctors were. Him telling me to make a case is what pushed the other doctors to do what needed to be done. So God has helped me so much through this, and He has blessed me so much through this. But once she said that God was dancing during the surgery, and also that Jesus was there as well to help with the surgery. Once the surgery was done, High Priest was like, hey, they're about to call you to tell you that the surgery is done. I think 5 minutes later, she received a call saying, hey, she's out of surgery, she's in recovery. And that was it for that. God continued to monitor me after the surgery. He was like, hey, get up and walk around. Make sure you ice. Take your medicine. And I did take, there was a medication that he told me not to take, but I didn't know it was that one. And I took it, and my body felt terrible. And I told him, I was like, hey, was this the medicine that God told me not to? He said, yes. Stop taking it. Take Tylenol instead. Took Tylenol, felt 100% better with Tylenol. So I was able to schedule my surgery in December for January, early January. And on the day of the surgery, I was being guided by High Priest still. And he went through every step that was happening while I was being prepped for surgery, in surgery, and after surgery. He even told me not to take a certain medication, but I'll get to that later. So day of surgery, walk in, scheduling and all that, scheduling, but registration and all that, I had to go through that. Went into the prep room, being prepped, and I was just laying there. He was like, hey, Prophet M, someone's about to walk in. 2 minutes later, anesthesiologist walks in to talk to me. Then I get up, after that I get up, use the bathroom, go back to the prep room, and he was like, hey, Prophet M, someone's about to give you a shot. And I was like, okay. Another 2-3 minutes later, anesthesiologist comes in to give me a nerve block for the surgery. And then after that was done, just laying there waiting to be taken back to the OR, and he was like, Prophet M, someone's about to come and get you, take you back. Not even a minute later, they were right there, ready to take me back. And I I don't know what was happening in the surgery, but my mom witnessed what God was doing during the surgery. And she informed me that when they had took me back, God was going through every step that they were taking, that they were flipping me over, checking me, making sure that I was good, prepping my shoulder, all that jazz. And God was in the surgery. He was also going over the steps of what they were doing during the surgery, when they were placing anchors, doing the first cut. So I was ending my recovery, which is fast forwarding up to now, probably around September. My benefits were like, hey, how much can you move your arm? How much like, can you stretch it? What can you do? Like, how can you function? And I'm still gaining my strength back, my mobility. So I do have partial disability in this shoulder, but because of God, it's already getting better. He's already healing me. He's still healing me. He's telling me when to rest still, when to ice, what exercises to do, how to stretch, everything. He's still guiding me in order to get my shoulder almost back to 100%. So yeah, and God did inform me that I would have some complications, because throughout this entire process, between the negligent doctors and the one that he provided me, he was trying to avoid surgery. But because that doctor was so insistent that nothing was wrong, God had already told me, hey, your path was changed. We're going to, pretty much, I already knew that I was going to have to go into surgery. So, but yeah, fast forwarding to now, so I'm happy that God put me through this course. I've learned so much. I've learned how to rely on God through tough situations, how to go to him, because he's always there for me. He's always there for us. And I love him. I love God. I love you, High Priest, and I thank you. I thank you, God. I thank you, High Priest, for everything. For everything.